Hey there, Coastal Bend. Chris Thomason joined once again by Islanders men's coach Steve Lutz for our Hang Time segment. And Coach, thanks for being here.
No problem, Chris. Glad to be here.
All right, so I can pretty much guarantee we're going to have a better start than we did last week. You guys are coming off a couple of wins as opposed to a couple of losses heading into our episode last week. An impressive second half comeback win against Nicholls, and then you guys controlling almost throughout against McNeese on Saturday. So what did you say to those guys that just got it to start clicking?
Oh, I don't know that I said anything different than I've said over the last, 3-4 months. Sometimes you go through different periods in the season. You have some highs, you have some lulls, and a couple of weeks ago when we went to Beaumont, we played the game the right way. We executed for the most part for a good 30 minutes. And then, the last 10 minutes or so defensively, we just weren't where we needed to be. And I guess my point in saying all that is that I didn't reinvent the wheel in between last week when we spoke and this week. We just, we did a better job in terms of being disciplined with what we're trying to do defensively. And then, we shared the ball extremely well this week, both Thursday and Saturday, which really, really helps.
So another big week against Louisiana teams coming up, this time on the road at New Orleans on Thursday and then at Southeastern Louisiana on Saturday. That game could determine who gets the top spot in the conference, at least maybe the top two. So I might already know the answer to this question, but are you the type of coach that plays up big games, or do you like to keep it low-key?
Yeah, we concentrate on each game one game at a time. I mean, we talk a lot about the process. We talk a lot about the season, and obviously there's 18 games that you have to try and win in order to win the league title. And thus far we've done well, but we've had 3 losses, and New Orleans is no bigger or smaller than Southeastern. Obviously, we have to concentrate on winning on Thursday and then concentrate on winning on Saturday. But I know that, when I was an 18 to 22-year-old male, I certainly did get more excited for a game that means possibly the right to be the number 1 seed in the league tournament and be able to win the league title. So I'm sure our guys will be excited for Saturday come Friday night, Friday morning.
All right, so pretty good timing on this. I actually just checked my email before we started this and saw that Terrion Murdix named the Southland Conference Player of the Week. I was already going to ask you about him anyway, but he set the school record for assists last Thursday, 15 against Nicholls. How nice is it seeing him not only get his points, but his court vision as well?
Oh, I mean, Terrion makes the game so much easier for our team, I tease him all the time, and sometimes he looks at me like I'm crazy, but I always tease him that and tell him that you're playing chess and the other 9 guys on the floor are playing checkers. And when I tell him that, I just mean it as a compliment in that, he can control the game so easily because of his basketball knowledge, his feel for the game, his pace, and 15 assists means that he's sharing the basketball, but also means that, the other guys that are catching that basketball are taking good shots and they're making those shots for him. So it's a collective effort on all those guys' parts, but Terrion's very deserving of being player of the week for sure.
Yeah, how much does it help? Like you said, he's hitting that open guy, whether it's Terrion, Isaac, like you said, he's setting those guys up for success, but it also helps him out as well because guys think, oh, well, he's just going to be dishing it when then really he can pull the switch and just go to the hole.
Yeah, no questions. And I'm on him quite a bit to shoot the ball more. Finally on Saturday, he kind of faked a pass to his teammate and then he shot a 3. And it was nothing but the bottom of the net. But I'd like Terrion to make 2 to 3 threes a game because he's certainly a capable 3-point shooter. But, again, he can manipulate the game by shot faking and driving. And then, instead of him maybe having a good shot, he's driving it and kicking it. And Trey Tennyson's hitting a 3 because he has a great shot. Or the same for Ross Williams or dropping it off for Laz or Isaac. And that's just the mark of a really, really good point guard. And Terrion certainly has really, really extraordinary ability in that regard.
All right, I don't know how much you got to see of it yesterday, but your Chiefs on to the Super Bowl. They get it done against the Bengals late. So now we have two Texas guys going head-to-head against each other. Jalen Hurts of the Eagles, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs. It's pretty much a pick-em game on the opening line. So who you got in 2 weeks?
Well, I obviously got to go with the Chiefs. I mean, you don't turn your back on your team in the Super Bowl, that's for sure. But we'll see. I think it'll be a fantastic game, a very, very competitive game, that's for sure.
Okay, well, we'll get to check back with you on that in a couple weeks. So we'll see. It'll be fun leading up to that game. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Anytime, Chris. Thank you.
All right, safe travels on the road this week, and we'll see you next week for Hang Time. Thanks again, Coastal Bend.